I'm Eric Guthrie. I'm the Director of Training Programs for GBA, and I'm here to give you a report on the training program, current and future. And I'm just going to share my screen here for my slides. Can everybody see that?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, good. So I have three objectives for this presentation. One, to give you the overview of the training program. If you've only been here for a year, or you're very new or have not been engaged in a training program, this would be a good kind of recap for you. The second, to give an update of what we're doing with the training program and the training partners. And the third is to give you a update or some information on the future of the GBA training program. So the training program basically covers three areas. The program materials, where we have the training partner and the memorandum of understanding, which is the agreement we make with the training partners. The GBA course handbook, which is sort of like the foundation of the training content when we partner with the training partners, whether they're in the US or overseas. We want to make sure if they're not using GBA materials, if they create their own, they're creating it to our GBA standard. So they are required to make sure that all of their content meets those standards in the GBA course handbook. And that's for a number of courses: blockchain foundations, technical consulting, executive consulting, as well as some of the specialty courses, healthcare, legal, finance, and et cetera, et cetera. So you'll see some more of those in a few slides, but the handbook does a really good job of creating that foundation so we can have standardized quality, because the GBA name is going to be going on the training, the certificates. So we will make sure the GBA name carries quality in training. And also the training program, we review and update training materials. That's really what we do with the working groups. But if there is a content that's highly specialized, like the legal content for the legal training, which I'll talk about in a second, pretty much myself and another GBA member, Miles Vaughn, has handled that, and we send it out for a comment and we get comments back. So we include the people in the working group in the conversation. When it comes to managing training partners, we try to recruit new training partners. And I'll talk some more about that in the slide in the later on in the presentation. Also, we consistently look at and update our fees for training partners as well. So we're always looking to see what's working, what's not working. How do we make it more effective? How do we make it more attractive? So fees are one of the ways that we have to make sure we manage our relationship with the training partners. We have a quarterly call, which is on the second Saturday of the first Saturday of the quarter. And there's a call at 10 a.m. and a call at 6 p.m. Which is our primary way of talking with the training partners en masse. And also I get a ton of emails asking for training requests. And, they want to attend the foundations course, they want to attend another course. So there's always a lot of movement with that, a lot of administrative work with that. And those last two bullet points are the majority of my emails when it comes to the training program. We also conduct training, which right now I do about 5 or 6 courses a year. Because of COVID, we of course went virtual, and that meant we had to change a few things with the training program. One, we lowered the price of the training, and two, it became more accessible to folks in other states and other countries. So there was that kind of beneficial expansion of the program. But previously, they were all in person. And we hope to get back to some in-person training, especially during Blockchain Week in the September timeframe. So this is just a screenshot of the gbaglobal.org. These are the courses that are on there right now. There's some courses that we're looking to put on there. There's some courses that we're looking at to maybe change a bit. So This is a fluidic screen. This website, this page is always in flux. So keep looking at it. And if you have an idea for a training, we need more than ideas. We need people to do the training work. So partner with me, partner with Gerard, and we can see if we can get your training ideas out there. These are the consulting courses. So some courses are standalone, and some courses actually provide you with a certification. So it's blockchain foundations, okay, and then there's the technical consulting series, which can be either technical consulting, legal, healthcare, or financial, and then there's blockchain executive consulting course. If you take those 3 courses, you will be a GBA blockchain certified consultant. If you see in the bottom of the screen, I taught a course in February, and it had a number of folks on there. So that's an example of what the certificate looks like. Ivory, big shout out to him. He did very well, took the course, and then he started using his GBA consultant certification to write articles for CNBC. So now he's a CNBC certified contributing author. And part of that was because he was able to use his GBA certification to obtain that. So when I teach my classes, I tell them, you're not just getting a certificate, you're getting the knowledge and you're getting the ability to do more with it. It's up to you what you do, right? The certificate, the certification, is only as good as you using it. So it's more than a piece of paper, it's more than a PDF. It creates opportunities for you, and those opportunities can give you some standing, be recognized as an expert in the field, starting with certification. Currently, we have 162 certified consultants. They're all on gbaglobal.org. That is the link if you want to take a look at it. It's very easy to get to. So if you just go on gbaglobal.org, you can find it pretty easily. But we have a number of certified consultants. So what does that mean? We have way more than 162 that completed the course, but these are the ones that pay the GBA fees. They became a financial GBA member. So that's why there's a difference between the number of people that completed the course and the people that are listed on the GBA webpage. So just a brief discussion about the legal specialist course. We're trying to get some courses that have additional credibility via certification. This course, the GBA specialist course, which was originally created by Gerard, and I took it on and I redesigned it and made it much more using, I'm an attorney, using much more of a legal lens, redesigned it. And then I took it to the DC Bar Association, and Gerard and I presented to the DC Bar Association about 1.5 years ago now. And they loved our presentation. I stayed in touch with them, and now I sent them over the information for the course, and we're in the final stages of getting that course what's called continuing legal education approvals, which means that now if you're an attorney and if you're in a state that requires you to take a certain amount of CLEs, as we call them, you can take this course and qualify for your CLEs. Now, DC Bar is not the only jurisdiction this works in. There's about 45 jurisdictions that DC Bar has an association with. So you can, be in Montana, you could be in Arizona, you could be in Maine, you could be in Florida. I tried to cover the 4 corners of the US, even go higher, Alaska, and you can receive CLE credit for the course. The next class, the first class, is scheduled for July 22nd. It was scheduled for June, but the DC Bar needed some more time to finalize the paperwork, so we pushed it back about a month, and that will be put on the GBA event calendar sometime soon after this meeting. So let's talk about the GBA licensed training partners. There are currently 9 training partners on the website. You can see them there. And some of the names will look very familiar. Armand is on there. Gerard is on there. I'm on there as Better Me, Better We. Gerard is Common Sense Solutions. So we have a blockchain summit in Colorado. They're good friends of GBA. So we have a lot of training partners that have the ability, the capacity, and the license to provide training. But we always are looking for more. And there is I'll talk about this in the future of the GBA, but it's always a challenge to find qualified training partners that have the qualifications and have the hustle. This is they're not paid to do this. They get commission on whatever they train. So it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of promotion that takes place. Unless you have some kind of machine in place already. So you have to really kind of put the work in to get the folks in your class. And we'll talk about that, but we scrub the list every 2 years or so, and we sit down and we say, have you heard from this training partner? Have they attended any of the calls? Have they sent any emails? We may shoot an email to say, you still interested in being a training partner? And we want to keep the list as accurate as possible, because if someone wants to reach out to get training, we don't want them to click on a name or a company that's no longer really engaged with GBA or engaged in blockchain training, because that looks bad for us, right? So we want to make sure that the information we put out there is fresh, it's current. There will be some follow-up if there's any contacts from anyone interested in taking training through GBA. This is just a screenshot that right now tells you how to become a licensed training partner. I mentioned the MOU, which is also called the Training Services Agreement. So that's the link there. I mentioned the Blockchain Consulting Series Handbook. So that's the link there. So we try and make it as easy as possible for them to access the information. They won't have to email me or Gerard or anybody else. They can actually find it online, fill it out, and shoot it back through the process we have, the automated process. And that way, everything is much faster and much more efficient. So training partner fees, I mentioned how we always are looking at fees. So because of the pandemic, what we decided to do, which ends the July 31st, is to eliminate the fees to become a training partner during the pandemic. So it was $3,000 to become a training partner, and you paid $1,000 for each course that you're licensed to train. So that would be an initial $4,000 cost to anyone that's interested in being a training partner. But to try and incentivize for the first year. So to incentivize training partners to join GBA and become part of our training organization, we eliminated it for the first year. So that's $4,000 in savings. Now, one of the ways we promoted this was, through, people that we actually train, and, through webinars that I've done, and through, talking to blockchain organizations, where, hey, listen, become a GBA training partner. Right now, it's the best time to get in. That has not been as successful as I was thinking it was going to be. In part because, like I said before, there's a certain level of experience to require to being a good training partner. You have to be comfortable training, and you have to do the hustle. I mean, if we were paying them to do this, then of course we would get flooded with, requests and with applications. But, because it's a hustle, because it takes a lot of work to actually get the people in the class and teach the class, and then do the after class work. We're not getting the type of interest that I thought we were going to get. So that means that we got to figure out how to change things around to make things more attractive to training partners and future training partners.
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
I just put a link. I just put a note in the chat. If anybody wants to, when you're done, if anybody wants to ask questions or make comments, to join the Zoom link. So as soon as you're done, let's.
When I'm done with my slides, I'll just come off full screen, and then I'll see what's out there.
Yeah, and then Jordan can let him in, and you can recognize whoever wants to ask a question or make a comment.
Okay, so I mentioned the handbook and the training service agreement. Right now we're updating the handbook. The legal group and the financial group provided their updates. The legal specialist course was the holdout, mostly because of the DC Bar Association. But now that that's been improved, we can actually now put the expected content into the handbook and publish the latest version. And also the training service agreement version 1.5 has been finalized, and we need to post that on gbaglobal.org. If you go there now, you see version 1.0, but we're already in 1.5. So those will be both updated on the GBA website very soon, which is good news for training partners because you don't have to contact me or Gerard. You can go right to the site and you can pull it down yourself. So let's talk about the future of the GBA training program. As Gerard said in his presentation, we're volunteers. And primarily, the GBA training program consists of me and Gerard. Occasionally, we have some folks that come in every now and then, and they provide some support and they provide a lot of help with it. But the longevity of people in this program is based on what you can offer and it's based on what's happening in your life. I mean, there was some time when we were first doing the GBA handbook, we had about 6 people. We were going to Virginia and meeting with a bunch of folks, and we were having some great meetings, and then when the handbook was done, we tried to do something else. I guess they got kind of burnt out because we were there till like sometimes 11 o'clock at night putting this thing together. And it's a great product, and they all had a part in that. But we need to have some more folks, some more resources to help us out with our training efforts. There's no incomes, there's no salary, it's all volunteer. So, that's one of the tough things in building a world-class training organization. To do with volunteers, it's a harder lift than if you're doing it with, a budget with salaries and with some type of remuneration for their work. If they have the time, they donate it. If they don't, then they don't. So we need more volunteers, we need more support. If you're a training partner or you want to be a training partner, one of the hurdles is that, you pay commission on what you train. If you don't train, you don't eat, right? So, we need to figure out if there's any way we can change that to make it more attractive. But, that will require, if we're doing some remuneration, having something, to be able to pay them in the first place. We need more training designers. Right now I've either, except for the healthcare and finance training, for the certification courses, I've had a hand in doing a lot of training design. That's my specialty. I'm an executive, a certified executive training director. So that's what I do before I came to GBA. That's one reason why I joined GBA, to bring the expertise there. But I can't do it all. We need other people that are interested in training design to become part of the training program. And also we need people to help us with sales and marketing. I'm not a sales and marketing person. That's not my expertise. We need people to join us to be able to show us what we can do, give us new ideas, give us new perspectives. This is, I think one of the areas where the training department the training program needs the most help is in sales and marketing. Virtual courses. So there was a lot of talk earlier on, when I say earlier, I mean about 2 years ago, to make a GBA online course. And we know we've had some talks with some organizations. Nothing has really panned out fully. One reason why is because, we have to basically take all the work that we've done on the course for the classroom and put it into a virtual setting. And that takes a lot of work. And that's something that we really were looking to find resources for that. We weren't able to find any. So, all those talks kind of lingered for a while. But also what happened in the meantime, there has been a boatload of virtual courses. Udemy has 4,451 when I looked at it like 2 days ago. So, and most of those courses, they charge $50 or less. So, the question is it worth doing a course, a digital course or a virtual course, when there's so much competition out there? Do we want to focus on more specialized courses instead? We have to figure that out. Even on the lower end on Coursera, they have 157 courses, and there's a whole gambit in between there with a bunch of other virtual training providers, where blockchain courses is just a thing right now. Yes, some of them are probably extremely poor quality, and yes, some of them probably are not even close to the level of the GBA's quality. However, you have to be able to convince the person to take that course and pay that amount of money up front to find out what's happening in the course. So there's a lot of saturation right now in the blockchain technology virtual courses.
Hey, Eric, we need, it's a 10:26.
This is my last two slides.
Yeah, we got to give enough time for folks to ask questions and comment.
Sure. So colleges, universities, we're also exploring to doing courses with the colleges, universities. Sometimes there's some policies and politics we got to go through with the administration. Also, there's accreditation issues and there's timing. So, when we were first talking about doing it, we had a lot of colleges say, well, now isn't the time for us to do that. So, we have to deal with that as well. But we just let you know, colleges and universities are on our radar screen. And like I said, my last two slides, that is pretty much my presentation. So we will see you at Government Blockchain Week. And if you have any questions, you can email me at gbaglobal.org. And just final note, happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. I will stop here and take any questions.
I think
Hello.
first.
Hello, Eric. This is Badruddin. I have a quick question. I see that you're looking for some kind of anyone to come forward and support a GBA on training any new aspirants. Now, what is the process? I'm like, do you have like a follow process steps, like how people can join this program and to help out?
Yeah, so the process was what I covered here on this slide, which was to do the MOU and the training partner agreement. So I'll have to get with Gerard because we need to update the slide. But if you go on to gbaglobal.org, you can download the training partner agreement, and right here, you can download the training partner agreement, and you can look at the handbook and determine if you want to design your own training or use our training. If you use our training, you have to go through training first. You can't train on something you've never been exposed to. So you will have to go through the foundations, technical consulting, and the executive consulting course. Pay for that course, and then once you're done, then you'll be able to register as a licensed GBA training partner.
Thank you, Eric, for the information.
You're welcome.
Hey, Eric, I have a question for you.
Sure, Sam.
When we sign up a training partner agreement in countries like the Middle East, or let's say Asia, that the local language there, and the training has to be delivered, let's say for the public sector or some of the private sector, in the let's say Arabic language or the Asian languages. Okay, and now how do we go about getting those training syllables or training courses translated? Is there a way that we you thought about maybe doing it or getting help in doing that? Because in our region, I know that the government, they'd be interested to take, send people to train, but it has to be done, let's say, in the Arabic language.
Right. So So a couple ways to respond to that. First of all, good question. Training and cost of the training in other countries is some of the things that we oftentimes, we're faced we're faced with, because with the price that we pay in the U.S. or the U.K., other countries, they can't afford that. So the training partner really is responsible for the translation and responsible for the price in the course that meets their needs. As we said, as I said before, we're volunteers, so we don't have any translation resources. The training
Right.
partner, with what resources they have, they will be the ones responsible for doing a translation. As for you didn't ask this question, but I'm kind of piggybacking off it. As for the cost of the training, you have the option to price it however you seem fit. If you can get a whole lot of money for it, God bless you, go for it. All you gotta do is pay the GBA the license for each person that's in the class. And if you need to reduce it to be able to make it affordable for folks in that country, then that's up to you. You are really in control of your training program as a training partner, as long as you're in compliance with the GBA policies and the MOU and the handbook. We pretty much give you autonomy.
Okay, all right, because the certification is going to come out from GBA. I mean, it's easy, probably, yeah. That's what I thought, is the training partner has to do the translation. However, GBA is going to issue the certification.
Right, but to your point about the different language, we may need to get you or any training partner to translate the certification into the new language, and then we can issue it that way. So that would be the one thing we have to work together on, because
Yeah.
a certification in English, is it could be worthless to them if they can't even understand what it's saying.
Sure.
But a certification in their language, that has much more of an impact.
Hey, Eric, something that we're going to be talking about soon is, from a technology perspective, we're going to be moving things over to a new platform, and we're going to be using badging as part of this whole thing. So
Yes.
it'll be really fascinating as we move forward, and giving training partners an opportunity to issue the certifications and to make it be from a badging perspective on the blockchain in multiple languages. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, so Gerard and I, thank you, Gerard, for reminding me. We've talked about that a number of times. So, I've been focused on a lot of the nuts and bolts when it comes to this, like the legal program and the MOUs and the handbook.
Yeah.
But
Mark will cover it. Yeah, when we get to Mark's presentation, he's going to cover about where we're going from a technology perspective, and he's working with Maria and Ross and Tara Sue, so that they'll share what's happening in terms of the GBA wide capabilities, and then you and them should talk about specifically how we use those capabilities from the training program perspective. So we got a lot of work to do in that area, but when we get through it, it'll be really awesome.